right, before we send you out to the Padres and the Dodgers, let's update you from what's happened around the yard. Ah, boy, big news in Toronto. The Blue Jays and Randy Myers. And Robbie Alomar has just hit a home run. That's the final out for Randy Myers. Robbie Alomar has just hit a home run in the top of the 10th inning. It's now 3-2. How about Robbie Alomar fighting the suspension, comes back and hits the home run? Here it is. He says Kapaya appalls Spoljaric. He was booed before the game, booed by his former fans in Toronto. For Alomar, his 22nd of the year. Baltimore, if they hang on, win the wild card. That is amazing. Big news for the Baltimore Orioles. Should have a lot of excitement there. We'll have a lot of excitement, too, at Dodger Stadium. It's the Padres in Los Angeles. The title up for grabs. Here's Joe Buck and Tim McCarver.
160 games in 6 months of the 1996 season are in the books. Now only 2 games remain, with everything at stake. It's the time of year where legends and lore are made, where fortitude challenges pressure. Last night, San Diego kept the Dodgers champagne on ice with some heroic and clutch play. Now 1 game separates Los Angeles and San Diego. It's an NL West showdown, next on Fox. It is a gorgeous day, as you would expect in Southern California. What a matchup, the San Diego Padres and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Only 1 game separating these 2 teams in the NL West, with 2 to go. Here this afternoon at Dodger Stadium and tomorrow afternoon here in Los Angeles. Hello, everybody. My name is Joe Buck. Happy to have you with us for the game of the week here on Fox. You know, the math is very easy. For the Los Angeles Dodgers, they win here today, they win the National League's Western Division. However, for San Diego, a win here today guarantees them at least a wild card spot, but it also gives them a chance to tomorrow win the National League's Western Division. Why is that true? Because of last night. Here in Los Angeles, San Diego came to town, and who would step into the spotlight? Who else? Ken Caminiti. His 8th inning home run tied the game at 2, and then in extra innings, inning number 10, a 3-0 pitch down the left field line. This put the Padres on top for good en route to their 5-2 10-inning victory, which brings them to 1 game out in the NL West. And I welcome in my partner, Tim McCarver. Who else? I mean, who else is going to step into the spotlight for San Diego than Ken Caminiti? He's been doing it all year.
Well, the legend continues, Joe. Story after story. I'll tell you, if Ken Caminiti were a sheriff, he'd be Wyatt Earp. If he were a general, he'd be George Patton. Look at the second half numbers of Ken Caminiti. Now, this is only for the second half of the season. 362, 28 home runs, 81 RBIs. A lot of guys would love those numbers for the full year. The interesting thing about today's game, the winner of today's game has the luxury of saving their starter, their number 1 guy, Ramon Martinez for the Dodgers, and Joey Hamilton with the Padres for game number 1 of the playoffs. And I think that's a very important thing to remember.
And that's why the Dodgers look at today's game as a game that they have to have, but it goes beyond pitching, Tim. They want to have a chance to rest some of their horses.
The other part of the battery, as a matter of fact, Mike Piazza, very necessary that he get rested tomorrow. He is starting his 145th game behind the plate today.
Hey, Hideo Nomo was on the mound a year ago when the Dodgers wrapped up the NL West. He's on the mound again here today. He takes on Andy Ashby. Doesn't get any better than this. 1 game separating the 2. We are ready for the starting lineups and the first pitch coming up right after this from your local Fox station, your home for the 1996 World Series. Can't wait to get it rolling. The new Miller Beer starting lineup for the San Diego Padres. Ricky Henderson leads it off, then Tony Gwynn hitting .355. Steve Finley, he has been outstanding in the shadow of Ken Caminiti, who most likely will be this year's NL MVP. Then it's Wally Joyner, Chris Gomez, Brian Johnson catching, Jody Reed at second with Andy Ashby pitching and batting ninth. The defense, Raul Mondesi, he has a cannon tattooed on his right arm. Why? Because over the last 3 years, he has had more outfield assists than any outfielder in the major leagues. And on the mound today, as he was a year ago when the Dodgers clinched, right-hander Hideo Nomo.
Well, the Dodgers feel very comfortable with the tornado on the mound. 16-11 this year He has won 4 of his last 5 decisions. The only loss, as a matter of fact, to the Padres and Andy Ashby last Sunday, when Nomo and the Dodgers lost 3-2, and that is turning out to be a very, very big game for San Diego.
Yeah, that finished off what was a split in a 4-game series and a wash. And now after last night's win here in L.A., the San Diego Padres have a very legitimate chance at winning the NL West. Today is a big day for Bruce Bochy and the San Diego Padres, and they hope to get it started right and giving us plenty of time to talk about this matchup as Ricky Henderson taking forever to get from the on-deck circle up to the batter's box.
That's one of the cliches among players. They have a tough time sometimes determining which is a big game. Well, today is a big game. This is 161. Not too much time left.
Here's Ricky Henderson. He will lead it off. He pinch hit here last night. He's hitting .241. But don't let those numbers fool you. At the top of this lineup, he has drawn 123 walks, 4th in the National League, and his on-base percentage in the top 5 at .409. Hope you enjoy it from Dodger Stadium. And a ball from Hideo Nomo to start it. Yes, so often the key with Hideo Nomo, which he said right after his last start, is velocity. Henderson now 2-0. If his velocity is above average, he doesn't give the opposing hitters much of a chance to recognize fastball split-fingered. He said last Sunday, he didn't have good velocity, and he was hit rather hard in San Diego.
Velocity is one thing, and also staying ahead in the count. When he's behind in the count, he's forced to throw the fastball.
2-0, the count on Henderson, leading it off, and that's into left field. A good start for the Padres. A 2-0 pitch. There you go, Tim. He fell behind in the count. And a leadoff base knock for Ricky Henderson.
Yeah, for most major league hitters, this just becomes a batting practice fastball when they know they're going to get it. Ricky Henderson doubly dangerous because of his speed at first base.
This is what the Padres had in mind when they signed Ricky Henderson. Get Ricky Henderson on base, get him on ahead of Tony Gwynn. At first with nobody out, Gwynn at the plate. And a check on Henderson by Nomo.
Dave Wallace, the pitching coach of the Dodgers.
Now they have called a balk.
Well, that was a delayed balk right there.
Or what are they calling? Now they call the runner back, and Charlie Williams is trying to get it straight with Steve Ripley, and Charlie Williams finally calls him back.
I don't think I've ever seen a no balk. Home plate umpire Steve Ripley with his arm up right away. That's, by the way, that is the move that Dave Wallace, the pitching coach of the Dodgers, told me that Nomo was working on. 50 stolen bases against Hideo this season.
Opponents have only been caught 10 times. 1 on, nobody out. Gwynn looks at a strike. Tony Gwynn is hitting .355. Ellis Burks is leading the National League, hitting .342, 1 for 1 today. Right now, Gwynn could take an 0 for 17 and still win his 7th batting title. 1-1 from Nomo.
I've got to tell you, Joe, I have no idea why a balk was called and then no balk was called. It looked like home plate umpire Steve Ripley threw up the arm when Nomo threw to first base. That normally is the sign of a balk. Maybe Henderson took it as that, but the base umpire said no deal.
1 ball, 1 strike. Now Nomo falls behind Tony Gwynn. Behind the plate is Steve Ripley. Charlie Williams involved on that no balk call. He's at first with Mark Hirschbeck at second, and Bruce Fremming is in the rocking chair over at third. Leadoff hit by Henderson. He has stolen 35. He's going. Gwynn pops it up. Going to be a tough play for whoever can get there. Wallach. 1 out.
Terrific play by Tim Wallach, the third baseman. Watch the angle with which he has to contend. to make the one-handed grab. Henderson was off on the pitch, so Ricky couldn't get back to tag up. The hit and run was on, and I think with Henderson on at first base and Nomo having 50 stolen bases against him, I don't think this is the right time to hit and run with these guys. I think the straight steal would be a better strategy here.
So now 1 on 1 out, especially with a guy like Wynn at the plate.
Yeah.
He picks his pitch and watch out.
And sure enough, Tony Wynn after a high fastball out of the strike zone to pop up to Wallace.
Finley hitting .297. Great season. Nobody talks about it. Couldn't hold up strike one. He is very much in the shadow of Ken Caminiti, but you look at his numbers. 6th best in the National League with his 192 hits, 29 home runs, 94 RBIs, and he doesn't get talked about because of him. Caminiti on deck. That missed. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That gives you an idea of what kind of player Steve Finley is. Even though it's 0-1, he took that pitch as we flash back to last Sunday in San Diego. 2-run homer that put the Padres up over the Dodgers 3-2.
That was the final, a 3-2 win, and the Padres came away with a split. A couple of lopsided Dodger wins in that series, and then a couple of tight ones won by San Diego. San Diego Padres with a win today guarantee themselves a spot in the 1996 postseason. There's Henderson running again. Finley comes up empty, and Henderson's safe with number 36 this year.
Steve Finley going at the high fastball. Ricky Henderson, best leadoff man in the game ever, shows one of the reasons why. Piazza had no chance.
So the all-time stolen base king at second with 1 out and a 1-2 count on Finley. Still 1-2. Finley looking for RBI number 95 and trying to put the Padres on top. San Diego leading the season series 6-5, and they're 3-1 here at Dodger Stadium. If Finley can't do it, he's next. Henderson stealing third. Piazza's throw not in time.
Ooh. It looked like he slid into the tag. Tim Wallach's complaining about the call, and I think he's got a good point.
Finley struck out on the pitch, so 2 out. But instead of the inning being over, Henderson steals 2 bases here in the first inning.
The throw was down right where Henderson was sliding. And that shot looked like he was safe. It looked like Wallach missed the tag.
Third baseman.
He tagged him on the hip, but it looked like Henderson's hand was in on the base. Good call by Fremick.
Very good call by Fremick, who was behind the play, yet still here at Dodger Stadium calling Henderson safe, and it looked like he got it right. Now Ricky at third, 2 out for Caminiti. And a ball to Ken, who last night on a 3-0 pitch against Antonio Osuna in the 10th inning laced a double down the left field line to put the Padres on top for good in their 5-2 win. Trying to put the Padres on top here in the first. Good pitch, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Nomo trying to crowd Caminiti. I hate that baseball term, be careful. I think in a situation like this, you have to determine whether you're going to walk him or pitch to him. If you're careful, you end up throwing a wild pitch.
To the right side for Karras. Nomo and the Dodgers dodge a bullet here in the first. A leadoff hit by Henderson. 2 stolen bases later, but Nomo gets Caminiti, and the first half inning is gone. Bottom of the first inning at Dodger Stadium, no score. At the plate, already talked about it. In the field, he does it with the glove. with his arm. And these days, Tim McCarver playing behind Andy Ashby, who makes a big start today here for San Diego.
It's a bit of a surprise to know of Ashby's success against the Dodgers.
Andy Ashby is 4-1 career, Tim, but 3-0 with an ERA under 1 in his last 5 starts at this ballpark. 3 times on the disabled list this year with a frayed labrum in his right shoulder. 1 ball, 1 strike on Kirby leading off. Wayne hitting .280. Then Hollingsworth, then Piazza. Should stay in play for Caminiti. All year long, 1 out.
Similar play that Tim Wallach of the Dodgers made, even though Wallach had to go farther for his ball. Caminiti checking the photographers well. Nice play.
You would have to believe, Tim, one guy who's not scared to go over by the photographers well or over by the railing of the dugout. And it is packed today, as you may expect here in Los Angeles, and with Nomo pitching. There's ball 1 to Hollingsworth. He is hitless in his last 15 at bats. Most likely this year's Rookie of the Year. But he has been bumped from the leadoff spot. Heck, a week ago when we did the game in San Diego, was hitting .360 as a leadoff hitter. But now batting second and ahead on the count 2-0.
That's the only change that Bill Russell made from last night's game. He flip-flopped Wayne Kirby and Todd Hollingsworth.
That caught the corner, 2-1. Bill Russell took over permanently on July 29th. Since then, 16 games over 500. 35-19. 3-1 on Hollingsworth with Piazza on deck. Kirby fouled out to third. Now Hollingsworth grounds to Jody Reed. 2 out. So Andy Ashby does himself a favor by retiring the first 2, and that'll bring in Mike Piazza. A very tired Mike Piazza. 2 out of 16 on this homestand. What has he done this season? Outfield hits by direction. Look what he does to right. And we've said many times, Tim, strong enough going the opposite way to hit the ball out of any park.
Well, the one thing that a player does when he's tired, he tries to rush the front side. He's not just like that. The fastballs are in on top of him prematurely, and they try to open that front side too quickly. Consequently, that slows down the bat head speed, and that's what's happening to Mike over the last 3 or 4 games. He is just dog tired.
Falling out of the top spot in the National League batting race, hitting .337 at the start of the day. So what looked like a battle about a month ago, coming down to this final series, Piazza, Gwynn, who would win the batting title. You might take Mike's name right out of it. Talk about Ellis Burks, but it's going to go to Tony Gwynn. Up the middle, Ashby stabs it. And a 1-2-3 first inning for Ashby and the Padres. After 1 here at Dodger Stadium. Good start. Nomo and Ashby, no score. After 1, no score here at Dodger Stadium. Padres had a leadoff hit from Henderson in the first. A couple of stolen bases later, he was at third, but Nomo got away with it. And now here in the second, it will be Joyner, Gomez, and Johnson. If anybody gets on, the number 8 hitter, Jody Reed. Still only 8 home runs this year for Joyner, 65 driven in. Hitting .277. Quickly, 2 strikes on Joyner. Chris Gomez waiting on deck.
You folks may have heard when Joyner came up to the plate, the Wally, Wally cheers, reminiscent of Wally World back in 1986 when Joyner was a member of the California Angels. Took that organization by storm, and he went to Kansas City, and now here with San Diego.
Missed the corner, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Successful first year in the National League for Joyner. Pip Roberts, the main piece of property going to Kansas City for Joyner. 2-2. Out in front, struck him out. That's 2 strikeouts for Nomo. Let's go back up the street. There's Jim Carey in Hollywood. Chip.
All right, Joe and Tim. Boy, Baltimore and Toronto traded home runs in the 9th and 10th inning. Alomar, the game winner. Felipe Crespo, the final out. Randy Myers punches him out. And the champagne is spraying at Skydome in Toronto as former Blue Jay Robbie Alomar celebrates better than anybody else. Birds in the postseason for the first time since 1983. Back to Joe and Tim at Dodger Stadium.
Thank you, Chip. Here is Chris Gomez with 1 out, nobody on. And a ball from Hideo Nomo. How about Robbie Alomar last night getting into that argument with John Hirschbeck? There's his brother Mark umpiring second base here this afternoon.
That home run today to clinch the wild card berth for the Orioles had to be extra sweet.
One ball, 1 strike on Gomez. So the Orioles are in. Right around the trading deadline, it looked like they'd pack everybody up and ship them on out. They held on to him. Glad they did. That pitch barely missed. 2-1.
Orioles falling 12 behind the Yankees back in late July when the Yankees went into Sweep 4. Then they got it down to 2 games against New York. New York fending them off, but they still have the wild card berth.
So those are the 4 in the American League with the Yankees, Cleveland, Texas. Their first postseason experience ever. And now the Orioles. 3-1 on Gomez. That's well hit down the line. That is trouble. A 1-out ground rule double. Gomez, a big hit in the 10th inning here last night. And here he is with a 1-out double in inning number 2.
Number 25, Brian Johnson.
Double number 14 on the year for Chris. Coming to the Padres in the middle of June along with John Flaherty for Brad Osmus and Duhar Cedeno. Speaking of John Flaherty, he could possibly be lost to the Padres for the full playoff series or however far they go. Sprained an ankle last Saturday on a game we did at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego.
And because of that ankle sprain, here is Brian Johnson. Now the Padres very fortunate to have a guy like Brian Johnson. In fact, when they traded Brad Osmus, I thought, and I was dead wrong, that it would also free up some playing time for Brian Johnson. Who would have thought Flaherty would end up playing as well as he did? This guy can play.
Yes, he can.
Hitting .282 with 8 home runs. Has a chance to put the Padres on top here in the second. Split fingered, strike 2. So Bruce Bochy and the Padres have the game's only 2 base runners. A leadoff hit by Henderson in the first, and now a 1-out double by Gomez in the second. Still 0-2. It looks like the San Diego Padres will end up starting the postseason against the Atlanta Braves in San Diego. And the Dodgers with an eye toward the St. Louis Cardinals. That series will get underway on Tuesday. However, if the Padres win today and tomorrow, it's time to rethink.
That would mean that the Atlanta Braves would open against the Dodgers and San Diego would open against St. Louis on Tuesday.
Ball and 2 strikes here on Brian Johnson.
In the American League, the New York Yankees will host the first 2 games against the Texas Rangers. And with the Baltimore Orioles now the wild card winner in the American League, they will host the Cleveland Indians.
See, now it says Texas at New York. that is how the series will begin. And they say Texas will have the home field advantage. I disagree. I think the first 2 games at home is the home field advantage.
Yeah, it's not much of a home field advantage to have the last 3, if necessary, at home. May never get there.
Pitch in the dirt. Gomez, very good base running. He's at third with 1 out. Tim, that ball hit dirt, and Gomez was on the move.
With nobody out or with 2 out, this is a bad play. With 1 out, it's a great play to try to score from third on something other than a hit. Throw by Piazza is just a wee bit late. Excellent base running by Gomez, and what that does is draw the Dodger infield in.
Better throw would have had him. A wild pitch, and now a runner at third, 1 out. Gomez, a big part of the win here last night. Here he is, a double. He moves to third. The batter is Brian Johnson, trying to put the Padres on top. 2-2 the count. Two out.
That's what makes Nomo very difficult to hit. You saw the splitter in the dirt, and now the letter high fastball. A hitter's eye movement goes from the letters to the ankles with Nomo. Very, very difficult to hit. Really a guy who only has 2 pitches. He rarely throws the breaking ball. Throws the 4-seam fastball and the splitter. That's it for the most part.
Well, if velocity was a concern coming in, I don't think Hideo's concerned anymore. Jody Reed, runner at third, 2 out. That one registered 91 miles per hour. The strikeout pitch on Brian Johnson. Jody Reed hitting only 246, but he's come up with some big hits. 49 RBIs, not bad for a number 8 hitter. He and the Padres need a 2-out hit.
Raul Mondesi in right field, playing very shallow against Reed. And that's it's a good way to play Reed, who has almost no power the other way. If he's going to pull the ball, that's where his little power comes from. 2-run homer last Saturday against Valdez.
Runner at third, 2 down. And a 2-1 count on Reed. Obviously a little margin for error here. First and second base open. The pitcher, Andy Ashby, on deck. But you would expect the Dodgers and Nomo to come right after Jody Reed. That'll get out of play. 2-2.
Sandy Koufax, the great Dodger left-hander, used to say that they're hitting 8 for a reason. And that's why he would bear down on the 8-hitter as much or more than anybody else in the lineup, especially in a situation like that, like this. If you get Reed out, then the pitcher leads off the third.
Jody Reed looking for a 2-out RBI hit. Nomo has him 2-2. Over. Nomo strikes out the side. 4 in the game already, and after an inning and a half at Dodger Stadium, Padres have left 2. There is no score.
6 weeks, 1 step. Take control with Nicotrol. And by Miller Lite. When you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good.
In Hollywood.
It is indeed.
We get ready for the bottom of the second inning. How about our Mitsubishi Motors playoff picture? You know, the last time 2 teams tied for first place and played each other on the final scheduled day of the regular season, it was 1982. As Milwaukee defeated Baltimore 10-2, they won the AL East title. They would go on to the World Series, losing in 7 games to the Cardinals in 1982.
You talk about... Go ahead, Joey.
Just going to say, it could happen here tomorrow if the Padres win today.
I remember that day back in '82 very well. That was Earl Weaver's last game managing the Orioles, first tenure with the Orioles. Also a day in which Robin Yount hit 2 home runs.
Here's Eric Karras leading it off. Second inning, gets into one, but yanked it down the line, foul. Off the end of the bat, a little too quick. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Matter of fact, the last time that it's been done in the National League where 2 teams met to see who was going to go forward to postseason play, 1908, the Cubs and the Giants.
2 balls and a strike. Eric Karros at the plate. He has hit 34 home runs, driven in 111.
You can crowd him, as that chart shows.
Into right. Win a late jump, and he recovers for the out. Tiptoeing and recovers for the first out here in the second.
Eric Karros, like most hitters, is a better hitter when he goes the other way. Tony Gwynn didn't see that ball right away, but finally caught up to it.
Talked to a lot of players that in daylight games here at Dodger Stadium with all the white T-shirts behind the hitter, it's tough to pick up the baseball coming off the bat. When able to get back and make the play, he's committed only 2 errors all year. And with 1 out, nobody on, here's Mondesi. Raul is hitting .323 since the end of May. For the year, .297. Ashby has retired the first 4. Mondesi now with Wallach on deck. Would it be fair to say, Tim, the general rule pitching against the Dodgers, the count of 1 and 2 now on Mondesi, if you can take care of Piazza, Karros, Mondesi, the middle part of this lineup, you stand a very good chance of beating this team.
Well, not only taking care of them, but doing it on your terms, having the 3, 4, and 5 spots hit with nobody on base. That's the ideal situation.
Mondesi stays alive at 1 and 2 because even with the years being put together by Piazza, Karros, and Mondesi, this Dodger team is 12th in the National League with a team batting average of .253.
Well, that's where Brett Butler has really hurt them. The ability to get on base, .390 to .410 on base percentage. If Butler had lived according to his past history.
1-2 pitch. Butler rebounding from his bout with cancer, but then after he returned, handful of games into his return, he breaks his hand on a pitch inside, and they lost him for the last month of the season and for the postseason in 1996. Had Mondesi reaching, Caminetti, good play. Safe.
Whenever a right-handed batter reaches for a ball and makes contact on the left side of the infield, his momentum takes him toward first. He gets a good jump out of the batter's box. Watch Mondesi slide her away, and that first step, very important. Caminetti did what he could. Remember, he has a torn rotator cuff, his left shoulder. But too much to do in too little time. Mondesi safe.
Now, we talked last week when we did the Dodgers and Padres and talked about players being very impressed with the effort of Raul Mondesi over the last month and a half, 2 months. He has been doing that, using his explosive speed out of the batter's box, and it's ruled an infield hit. First hit for the Dodgers, 1 on, 1 out for Wallach. Mondesi approaching a .300 batting average for the year. That gets away, and Mondesi down to second at least, headed to third. There with 1 out.
It'll be a wild pitch on Andy Ashby. Brian Johnson, the catcher, going after it with the backhand. Had he shifted, that's the best way to get to a fastball like that. Mondesi didn't even slow down and makes it to third without a play. The reason that fastball in the dirt is such a difficult pitch to handle for a catcher is catchers don't anticipate that ball in the dirt. sometimes the only way to make that play is to backhand it. You don't have time to get in front of it.
Now the infield in, runner at third, one out for Wallach. Andy Ashby last Sunday pitched his way into and out of trouble all afternoon, getting the win for San Diego in that 3-2 victory, and he's in trouble here in the second. An infield hit and a wild pitch. Wallach could put the Dodgers on top. Tim has driven in 22 since joining this Dodger team. He can't do it. Delano Shields waits on deck. Strike two.
It'll be interesting to see if Bill Russell will have Mondesi go home on contact. DeShields is struggling, the on-deck batter. Want to cheat a little bit off of third if you're the runner there, if you're going on contact. Ball on the ground, you immediately take off.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Wallach. Got it. 2 gone. Pitchers will sometimes say strikeouts are overrated. Not in that spot.
Looks like a slider from Andy Ashby. You can see Johnson sitting on the outside part. The slider was up, but good enough to get Tim Wallach.
So Wallach comes up empty, and now a runner at third, 2 out for Delano DeShields. Delano been hitting a little better lately, hitting .224 for the year. He's driven in 40. Good breaking pitch, strike one. Runner at third, 2 out, second inning. Up the middle. Jody Reed can't get it. Dodgers lead 1-0.
With a fast guy as a batter, with a runner on third and 2 outs, the added advantage that he had on an infield hit, he could score the runner because of his speed. If Andy Ashby can't make that play, then Jody Reed can't either.
Dodgers break out in front 1-0 here in the second. They had an early lead here last night, only to lose in 10 innings. 1 on, 2 out. The batter is Gagne, the number 8 hitter. Delano DeShields, Tim, was 1 trip to the manager's office away from being benched for quite a while. Back in San Diego, he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way with some of his actions on the bench, being pinch hit for and not appreciating it. Talked his way back into the lineup, and the Dodgers are glad he did. 1 on, 2 out, and Gagne shoots one to Joyner. That'll end the inning, but not before the Dodgers strike first. 1 run, 2 hits. Delano DeShields, the 2-out RBI hit. And now after 2 in L.A., 1-0 Dodgers.
KFXA and KFXB, Cedar Rapids, Waterloo, Dubuque, and Iowa City.
1-0 the Dodgers out in front on a 2-out RBI hit by Delano DeShields. We get into inning number 3. It'll be the pitcher Ashby, then Henderson, then Gwynn. Andy Ashby can handle the bat. 11 out of 43. 5 RBIs this year. An average of 256, second best in the National League. Trying to get on ahead of Ricky Henderson. 1-1 from Nomo. There's Ricky. He led off in the first inning with a single. Stole second, stole third, but was left there.
One of the tough things about Hideo Nomo, not only his velocity, but all the hitters that you talk to, they tell you he is so difficult to pick up. The tornado for a reason.
2-2 on Ashby.
That torque actually gives Nomo a better fastball.
Andy Ashby leading off. Strikes out, and that is 5 strikeouts for Hideo Nomo. And 1 out here in the 3rd inning. Tomorrow, it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader where the Vikings battle the New York Giants. The Atlanta Falcons take on the San Francisco 49ers. Plus other exciting regional action. It all begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Check local listings for the game and time in your area. That's all right here on Fox tomorrow. Atlanta and San Francisco. Bobby Hebert at quarterback for the Falcons. Jeff George maybe getting in contact with a real estate agent in some city yet to be determined in the near future.
Suspended for a game, right?
1 out, nobody on, and Henderson looks at ball 1. George has had problems everywhere he's gone, and his tirade with June Jones last week has put him on the bad list. He's a bad boy. Henderson 1 single this afternoon, 1 for 1. And ahead 2-0. Ashby led off. He struck out. 3-0 on Henderson.
We were talking about that torque of Hideo Nomo. Watch him extend his arms to the apex. Now right there, you're looking at his number, and it's very difficult for hitters to get started against that type of windup.
Borderline pitch, 3-1 now on Henderson.
Nomo, one of those pitchers that's much easier to pick up from the stretch than from the windup. It's almost a 3-part movement in his windup. Hands up is 1. The turn toward the plate is 2. The delivery is 3.
3-1 to Henderson. That's ripped, but right at Wallach. 2 out. Ricky's come to play this afternoon.
Well, that's what happens once again when you get a pitcher like Nomo in the hole. 2-0 the first time up. Got a base hit. 3-1 this time. Snared by Wallach. Good play.
Now with 2 out, nobody on, here is Tony Gwynn. Nomo definitely on here at the start. Tony Gwynn hitting .354. Ellis Burks today 1 out of 2 for Colorado, hitting .341. Quickly an 0-2 count on Tony Gwynn. How do you get Tony Gwynn?
You could ask every pitcher in the National League that question and come up with a different answer for everybody.
We had to come up with a new shade of red for down and in.
That's right. Goes to left field with 2 strikes, however.
And a 1-2 count from Nomo.
Tony Gwynn, his 13th year over 300. There have been 18 major league hitters that have done that at 13 300 years, and all of them are in the Hall of Fame with the exception of Pete Rose.
Right here, Tim, Steve Ripley is giving Piazza a moment by dusting off the plate. Piazza a moment to shake off the pain. It's been a long month-and-a-half run here for Mike Piazza. Can't wait to have a day off, but the Dodgers can't afford to have him out of the lineup in a game like they're involved in here today. 2-2 now on Gwynn.
Yeah, baseball does not have the time to give Mike Piazza a chance to get rid of his injuries. They
Absolutely
are
not.
Too numerous at this point in time.
14th season for Tony Gwynn, shooting for 7 batting titles. That's down the line. Diving stop, Karras. Inning over. The Dodgers seem ready. They hope today is the day they wrap up the NL West. After 2.5 innings at Dodger Stadium, the Dodgers out in front on the 2-out RBI hit by DeShields. 1-0. Como, then Kirby, then Hollingsworth here in the 3rd inning. The Dodgers up 1-0 on the 2-out hit by DeShields. Nomo a quick and easy out for the second strikeout for Andy Ashby today. So with one out here in the third inning, back to the top of the lineup. It's time now for the Pizza Hut Deliver Me Home contribution update. Pizza Hut very proud to donate to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children $1,500 for each home run hit by these 4 batters. They're up to 158. So with one out here in the third inning, the batter is Kirby. Wayne 0 for 1.
We haven't checked this officially, but I would imagine that this is the first time in baseball history that 2 Vaughns have hit 40 home runs or more in 2 different leagues. Greg Vaughn for the Padres with 40 and Mo Vaughn with 44.
Greg Vaughn is on the bench today for San Diego. Had another rough game here last night. Don't forget about Greg Vaughn down the line, available to pinch hit if things stay this tight down toward the end. Nomo struck out, and now strike 1 on Kirby. Touched on it last week. Here's Wayne Kirby, a part-time at best player for the Cleveland Indians. Gets cut loose, signs on with the Dodgers. Is really an extra player off the bench, a left-handed bat. In his 13 games leading off, hitting over 300. And a big part of this Dodger first-place club. 2 out here in the third inning.
Wayne has gone from one winner to another. Cleveland to L.A.
Cleveland Indians end up with a record of 98 and 61 into today. By far the best record in the American League. Two out here in the third, and the batter is Todd Hollandsworth. Grounded out his first time up. Numbers have been falling for Todd. 0 for his last 16. Strike 1.
Notice how in a big game like this, hitters in particular are much more deliberate than they normally would be. It takes more time to get into the batter's box. Pitchers, on the other hand, I think have an advantage. They have an advantage anyway, but particularly in a tight game like this.
Up the middle, that breaks the streak. Hollandsworth on base with 2 out here in the third.
Ball out over the plate.
Number 31.
And even had Jody Reed come up with this ball, he probably would not have gotten Todd Hollandsworth.
0 for his last 16 was Hollandsworth. You think that felt good? And he's on with 2 out for Piazza. While Hollandsworth has struggled, so has Piazza. 2 out of 17 on this homestand. Which included the series against San Francisco and now the one as they battle the Padres. Hollandsworth aboard with 2 out here in the third. Todd has stolen 20, been caught 6 times. Last 10 days for Piazza. Not been having a lot of fun.
Talked about it in our opener. Mike Piazza catching his 145th game of the year. Todd Hundley of the Mets has 148 games that he's caught. Ivan Rodriguez 146. Fine catcher for the Texas Rangers.
1-0 pitch from Ashby. That caught the corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. So far, Andy Ashby has been able to do pretty much what he's wanted. The inning where the Dodgers scored in the second. An infield hit by Mondesi, a wild pitch. And then a dribbler up the middle with 2 out. The ground ball base hit with 2 out by Hollandsworth here in the third. And a 1-1 count on Piazza. Strike 2.
Mike Piazza, the scouting report on Mike, if you come inside on him, you better make it way inside because he loves the ball out over the plate. You could throw him off the plate inside and then go away with the slow stuff. The first time that he hit this afternoon, 2 fastballs in, and then Ashby got him on a fastball on the corner, grounded back to Andy. Similar pitching pattern. Instead of going up and down as Nomo does, Ashby goes in and out to hitters.
1 on, 2 out, and a 1-2 pitch instead of throw to check on Hollingsworth.
I think now's a good time to send Hollingsworth. If he's thrown out, you have Piazza hitting anew in the 4th inning.
One and 2, the count on Piazza, not going, and now 2 and 2. Bill Russell hoping to guide this Dodgers ship into the postseason in his first, can't say full year, but he is the man now in L.A., taking over for Tommy Lasorda on July 29th permanently. 1 on, 2 out. Now Hollingsworth running. The pitch, a ball. Hollingsworth safe. And it's second with 2 out.
Brian Johnson had a tough pitch to handle. That ball low and away. Looked like he got it hung up in the web just a bit. Did what he could, but Hollingsworth with a great jump off of first. It's good policy by Bill Russell. Neither team playing a passive game this afternoon. But in a tight contest like this is, with the ramifications so important, often teams are too passive and not aggressive enough.
Now runner at second, 2 out, and the 3-2 to Piazza. Into center field off the end of the bat. Hollingsworth will score, and it's 2-0 L.A.
I cannot believe he hit this pitch. Ball is on the ground, low and away. Hits it right off the end of the bat. And strong enough to softly land it in front of Steve Finley.
Tim, I wonder if you do Piazza a favor these days, if he is as worn out as he is, not coming right after him with something hard on 3 and 2.
Well, the Andy Ashby slider is almost as hard as this fastball.
1 on, 2 out now for Karras.
I mean, I don't even think you can look back on a pitch like that. You make a pitch like that, a guy like Piazza gets the hit, you just tip your cap to him. You're not supposed to hit those pitches.
Hollingsworth, the 2-out hit, then the important stolen base, and the 2-out hit by Piazza. Now Karras. He won't like that call, 0-2. Two to nothing Dodgers here in the 3rd. Hideo Nomo, a little more breathing room. So far, it doesn't look like he'll need much. He struck out 5 and allowed no runs on 2 hits. Touched on it at the top about this game and the importance for each side. Dodgers win today. They can start Chan-Ho Park tomorrow if they wish and save their #1 starter, Ramon Martinez, for the first game of the playoffs. Karras going deep into right, but off the end of the bat. Win is there, and the inning is over. A 2-out rally played to run. Who drives it in? Who else? Mike Piazza is 105th of the year, and after 3, 2-0 Dodgers. Time now for the 4th inning here at Dodger Stadium. For the Padres, it'll be the heart of their order. Finley, Caminiti, and Joyner. 2-0 L.A. now. RBIs today for the Dodgers from DeShields and Piazza.
Center fielder Steve Finley.
And Hideo Nomo back to work, leading by 2. And here is Finley. Then Caminiti, then Joyner. Finley started the game-winning rally here last night, the 10th inning, with a base hit. Scored the winning run on the double by Caminiti. And this duo will try to get something started for the Padres here in the 4th. Ball 1.
You hear that term in sports often, Joe, about a guy that thrives on pressure. I think Steve Finley has done exactly that. He's become a better hitter since he's moved from the 1 hole. .239 average for the Padres in the first position, better in the 2nd hole, but he's really flourished in the 3rd hole.
Kind of went there as a mistake or by chance when Tony Gwynn went down.
Right.
With a frayed right Achilles tendon. He missed 31 games, and how could Bruce Bochy take Finley out of that number 3 spot? 3-0 now, and a leadoff walk. So not a good start for Nomo. Very good start for the Padres here in the 4th. First walk of the day, and it does not come at a good time for Hideo.
Caminiti.
Here's Caminiti, the tying run, coming to the plate.
There are boos of anger and boos of respect. And you get the feeling here at Dodger Stadium, the boos are coming for Caminiti out of respect.
How can you do anything but respect what Caminiti has been able to do this year? Every time the Padres, or seemingly every time the Padres need something big, there's Caminiti. And last night, maybe his most impressive showing. And if this guy doesn't win the National League MVP, I will be stunned. Leadoff walk. Ooh, cut it loose in a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Caminiti. Piazza has wilted a bit here in the month of September, and Caminiti just seems to get stronger.
Of course, that's the difference between the 2 positions also.
Absolutely. 1 on, nobody out. I know you disagree, and I know Piazza doesn't like to hear it. But you look at this season in particular and what's happened to Mike here at the end of the season, gone into a bit of a tailspin. He's got the bad knee. There is a strong argument mounting for him switching positions.
Well, the biggest thing is, where do you put him? You're going to do, you've got to trade Karros.
2-2 now on Caminiti.
I think the Dodgers would have a very easy situation as far as whether to put Mike in another position. If Tim Wallach played first base, for instance, it would be a natural thing for him. But with Eric Karros there, it's a very difficult decision that they have to make.
Squirted foul off the end of the bat, and the count stays 2-2. MVP race, Piazza's had a wonderful year. In fact, would have had my vote about a month ago. He still has had a sensational season. 36 home runs, 104 RBIs, and what he has done, that's the other aspect to it. We've talked about it in the last couple of weeks, what he does behind the plate. Maybe not the greatest catcher, but he handles this very good Dodger staff very well. Runner is going, and Caminiti, a ground ball to the right side. DeShields kicks it, everybody's safe. Tim, you start that runner and good things usually happen.
I was thinking the same thing. And I think Delino DeShields, with Finley on the move, Finley passes between DeShields and the ball. And by the time Delino could get to it, the ball comes up on him a little bit, and Caminiti is on at first. An error on Delino DeShields.
But you just talked about it last inning. It's very easy to get lulled into a conservative game plan or attack in a tight game. And both teams have come out very aggressive here this afternoon.
Yeah, where the temptation is to play the game by the numbers.
So the tying runs are on for San Diego, 4th inning. A walk and an error, a bad combination for Nomo. And here's Joyner 0 for 1. Mondesi back to get it, 1 away. Finley tags and cannot advance to third.
And a base running mistake on the part of an excellent base runner. Steve Finley breaking toward third. The ball didn't have enough loft to allow him to go to third once Mondesi made the catch. This ball is crushed. Mondesi is there. And about right now, Steve Finley is still 5 feet from second base.
Number 10.
Going back to tag.
Then he stumbled.
Yep. At 2.5 steps toward third, cost him a chance to go to third.
So now 2 on, 1 out. Runners at first and second. The batter is Chris Gomez. Sounds that you hear the microphones in the bases, which a couple of weeks ago proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that Henderson was safe on a play at second. You can hear what a pair of Reeboks sound on a base in Major League Baseball. There's a strike on Gomez. San Diego so far 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position, while the Dodgers 2 out of 3. Finley running. Piazza's throw perfect. 2 out.
Fine play by Mike Piazza. He got the ball in a hurry to Tim Wallach, who applies the quick tag. Knee behind the bag. What a shot that was. My goodness. Knee behind the bag. The glove in front of the bag. Finley slides right into it. So a key play happened before that attempted slide, and that was not allowing Finley to go to third base.
Maybe a little frustration.
Yep, maybe.
On the part of Finley. Stolen base doesn't work, and now a runner at second, 2 out, and a 1-1 to Gomez is high for ball 2. A leadoff walk, then an error. Joyner hits a bullet out to right. The runners cannot advance. Then Finley out stealing third. Now a runner at second, Caminiti 2 out, and a 3-1 count on Gomez. Chris has already doubled. Ryan Johnson would be next. Now Gomez looking for a 2-out RBI hit. Full count.
It was interesting when Mike Piazza made that play. Joe, sometimes the pitch and its location dictates whether you go behind the batter or go in front of the batter. If the pitch is a high fastball, usually you try to go behind the batter to throw the runner out at third. If it's a slider away, you go in front of the right-hander. Piazza made that play look easy, and it's not an easy throw.
Runner at second, 2 out, and a 3-2 pitch coming to Gomez. 2 on, 2 out, second walk of the inning, and it's up to Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson walks to the plate. Started the day hitting .282. He struck out his first time. And now he has the tying runs on, but 2 out here in the 4th. Caminiti reached on an error. He's the lead runner at second. Now a walk to Gomez. He's at first with 2 out for Brian Johnson. Two to nothing Dodgers, top of the 4th. Right at DeShields. Nomo pitches around 2 walks and an error. Piazza helps. We head into the bottom of the 4th inning. Piazza gunned down Finley. Nomo took care of the rest. Now after 3.5 at Dodger Stadium, 2-0 LA. Wallach and DeShields will follow. Earl Mondesi, we told you at the top, has a tattoo on his right arm. And appropriately enough, it's of a cannon. And he has one out in right field. Still regarded as the best throwing arm out in right field in this league. Mark Whitten, while he was in the National League, was right there with Mondesi. Mondesi pops it into center. Finley to get it, one away. And Mondesi 1 out of 2. Don't forget, folks, Wednesday is Game 2 of the American League Division Series as Texas faces New York. Thursday, it's Game 2 of the NL Division Series as Atlanta begins their quest for a second consecutive World Championship. Coverage begins at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And is next Wednesday and Thursday right here on Fox. Check local listings. Here's Wallach, 1 out, nobody on. Yankees and Texas. Good matchup in the American League. Orioles and Indians. And if things stay the way they are here, it's the Dodgers and Cardinals. Padres hoping it's San Diego and Atlanta, depending on what Montreal does.
Just think of the unbelievable job that Montreal has to do and the things they have to accomplish to be a wild card entry. They have to win 2 against the Braves tonight and tomorrow afternoon.
They face Maddox tonight.
Yeah. He'll probably go 5 innings, I would imagine, like Smoltz did last night. Then they have to travel about 3,700 miles, beat the Padres on Monday, and travel that same 3,700 miles and play against the Dodgers on Tuesday night.
3 balls and a strike on Wallach. Now he flies one to center. 2 out here in the 4th inning.
So in 3 days, the Montreal Expos have to beat the best pitching staff in baseball and the Braves 2 games, beat the Padres, and travel 7,400 miles in between.
The NL wild card race, the Expos 2 games back now with San Diego's win here last night. And the Expos losing in Canada to the Braves and John Smoltz. 2 out, nobody on, and here's DeShields. Already a hero this afternoon, a 2-out RBI hit up the middle. Back in the 2nd inning. He looks at ball 1. Only hitting .226. To the left side, tough play. Gomez right through the wicket.
Sometimes infielders' biggest problems is determining the speed of the ball.
Number 7.
It's going to be an error on Chris Gomez. Had he thought it was hit that hard, he would have probably backhanded the ball and made the backhanded play. But without realizing how hard it was hit, he tries to shuffle over to his right, and the ball goes right through his legs.
So a 2-out error here in the 4th inning by Gomez. That's his 13th error since joining the Padres. Puts DeShields aboard. He was also committed an error defensively. And the inning continues for Gagne. 1 on, 2 out. Now Delino has stolen 47 bases. Not a bad total at all for a guy hitting .224.
Nor is it a bad time to run right here. Be in scoring position. If they elect to walk Gagne, then you clear Nomo for the 5th inning.
Will they test Brian Johnson? Not on this pitch. Ball 1. Gagne squirted one to first, his first time up, 0 for 1. DeShields and the Dodgers hoping that 2-out error will lead to something big. They lead 2-0, bottom of the 4th. He's going. Padres pitch out. They guessed right. That ends the inning. A 2-out error. Then DeShields caught stealing. And now Delino DeShields is down and hurt at second base.
We talk about it all the time, Joe. The worst way to go into a base is head first. You risk injury, and that's what DeShields risked right there.
Check on his status in the 5th.
But he is showing that it's his right shoulder. See how the left shoulder hits the left knee of Jody Reed. But Reed's trying to take it out of the way of DeShields and kind of pivots on that right foot. Looks like it's his right shoulder and does not appear to be serious.
So Delano's still in there. Hideo Nomo back to work. Jody Reed will lead off. He'll start the 5th inning, the number 8 hitter, then Ashby, then Henderson. Reed, a strikeout victim his first time. Nomo has struck out 5. And last inning pitched around 2 walks and an error. Just a little high, 2-0.
It was an interesting pitch out called by Bruce Bochy, too, because at the time it was a 1-0 count on Greg Gagne. Had DeShields not been running, he would have been behind 2-0.
If you don't guess right there, you may pitch out right into a running situation.
Maybe.
2 balls and a strike on Reed. Jody trying to get on to allow Ashby a chance to bunt here in the 5th. That will not do the trick. Mondesi puts it away, 1 down. So Reed is 0 for 2. The leadoff man is gone, and the batter will be the pitcher, Andy Ashby. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without express written consent. We say that every week, and I still have no idea what that means. 1 out, nobody on, and here's Andy Ashby, struck out his first time. Ashby 11 out of 44. Maybe he can get something started for San Diego. His chances are dwindling. 0-2. Just a little high, 1-2. Reed flying to right. Ashby grounds to 3rd. Easy play, Wallach. 2 out. See Karras do that a lot, where he will shift feet on the bag and go behind the bag to take the throw. This time he tagged the runner Ashby.
Yeah, these runners, those are the first base or the home plate side for his feet. He actually shifts feet. He has 2 pair of feet. You didn't know that.
No, absolutely. That's why he's so good.
There they are.
1 set.
Yeah.
So now 2 out, nobody on. A little bit of a chance coming off the bag to tag Ashby, but he made the play.
I think sometimes the throw will pull you off the bag, and you're almost forced into making a play like that, Joe.
Here's Ricky, 2 out, nobody on. Henderson has hit the ball hard twice. Has 1 hit. He's also lined out.
That looked like a curveball from Nomo, and I think it's his first breaking ball that he's thrown all afternoon.
If you have a pitch like that you don't use often, isn't it true you only have to show it a couple of times to put it in the back of the hitter's mind?
Right. Just mix it in at a time when you're not going to get hurt by mixing it in.
2 out, nobody on. And now 3-0 on Ricky Henderson. Dave Wallace, the pitching coach for the Dodgers. In his 2nd year, he's been with his Dodger organization since '81. And he has done a wonderful job with this Dodger pitching staff. There's ball 4. And Ricky Henderson on base for the 2nd time today.
Right fielder.
3 walks now for Hideo Nomo. And with 1 on, 2 out, the batter will be Gwynn. Tony 0 for 2, hitting .354. Ellis Burks for Colorado today, 2 out of 3. By the way, he hit his 40th home run. He's hitting .342. And right now, Tony Gwynn could withstand an 0 for 14 and still win the batting title. Quinn pops it up. Looked like he was trying to muscle up. Quinn this year has hit only 3 home runs, and he's the final out in the top of the 5th inning. Quinn pops it up. He's 0 for 3. Nomo and the Dodgers rolling. They lead by 2.
Saturday Baseball is brought to you by Pizza Hut. You'll love the stuff we're made of. By Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires. By Network MCI, we have the power to put it all together for your business. And by Rogaine, medically proven to regrow hair for men and women.
There goes your ride, Tim. Back to the hotel.
That's right.
We get ready for the bottom of the 5th inning. Delina to Shields during the break. After being called out on the pitch out, he runs into Jody Reed. During the break was grabbing his shoulder. So maybe something we'll keep an eye on the rest of the day, and you wonder really if he'll continue. But it's interesting that it's his right shoulder, when it was really his neck and left shoulder that ran into Jody Reed. Gagne, the number 8 hitter, leads it off and looks at a ball. Gagne, Nomo, and then Kirby.
Greg Gagne with postseason experience. The shortstop for the Minnesota Twins back in 1987 when Minnesota beat the Cardinals, and then in 91 when Minnesota beat the Atlanta Braves.
Trying to get there with the Dodgers. He's had a good first year in the National League. Very solid season for Gagne. 3-1 to count. Hit some big home runs along the way. He's had a tough time at times defensively. With 21 errors, also spent a good part of the year inactive with a bad ankle. Strike 2, full count.
Problems defensively, I think Greg has had, coming from the switch from artificial surface to all grass for the most part. Playing at least 81 games here at Dodger Stadium on natural grass.
This is a new grass surface here for 1996 at Dodger Stadium. And some of the infielders around the National League say it is a rough infield. Gagne pops it up, should stay in play for Joyner. 1 out here in the Dodger 5th. So with 1 away, the batter will be Hideo Nomo. Strikeout victim his first time. 35th year of baseball here at Dodger Stadium. Biggest crowd ever, 55,185 for a 1973 game against the Giants. Capacity crowd here this afternoon as Nomo looks at a breaking ball, strike 1. Nomo right on top of the plate. Strike 2.
Until he swings.
Then 1 foot is in the bucket, and he's a little further away. I mean, he's right up on top of the plate.
And that gives him the liberty of bailing out with that left foot. He'll probably stay away from him. Yep.
And for Ashby, his 3rd strikeout of the day. He's K'd Nomo twice. So 2 out, nobody on here in the 5th. Nothing shaken. Tomorrow, it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader, when the Vikings battle the New York Giants and the Atlanta Falcons take on the San Francisco 49ers. Plus other exciting regional action. It all begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Check local listings for the game and time in your area. It's all right here tomorrow on Fox. Started off with the #1 pregame show in America, Fox NFL Sunday. You got JB, you got Terry, you got Howie, and Ronnie. Here's Wayne Kirby, 2 out, nobody on. He's fouled out, he's grounded out, and he looks at a strike. Shades on, ready to hit. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kirby trying to keep this 5th inning alive for Hollinsworth. Now a beach ball. Leaves the stands and heads toward fair territory. And a good play by Rick. That's Rick down there. Number 96. 1 ball, 1 strike on Kirby, and now 2-1.
Dodgers clinching a wild card berth last night when Montreal lost. They found that out in about the 4th inning here. And it was almost as though the Dodgers didn't think they'd clinched anything. And that's why I think the win today would be that much sweeter. Last time the Dodgers clinched anything in this ballpark was the National League Championship Series back in 1988 against the New York Mets. Orel Hershiser, the MVP. Then they went on to beat Oakland in 5 games. But the clincher coming up in Oakland.
Orel Hershiser will be one of the starters for the Indians as they go back to postseason. Brett Clare, the general manager of the Dodgers. Brett Butler, he's kind of taken on a role of a bench coach in a way. I saw him positioning some of the outfield, positioning the defense here last night. 3-2 now on Kirby. Ashby trying to have his first 1-2-3 innings since the first. Should do it. Reed on 1 hop. Inning over. We are through 5. Good game, good pitching, and we've seen a lot of good defense. For the Padres, it will be Finley, Caminiti, Joyner coming up. 2-0 Dodgers. 2-0 LA. Out hit San Diego 4-2. Each side has an error. And Steve Finley will lead off. Then Caminiti, then Joyner against Hideo Nomo, protecting that 2-run lead. Finley has struck out and walked and been caught stealing. Look at the outfield hits by direction for Steve Finley as he bats here in the 6th inning, leading off. Pretty good chance they play him to pull, and they do.
Well, that's another reason why Steve Finley is batting in the 3-hole. I would imagine if you threw those same 3 numbers up there 3 years ago when he was leading off, there would have been more hits to left field. But this year, more of a power hitter, as the numbers 29 home runs, 94 RBIs. And you see that straight up and down stance of Finley. Herb Rettman, the batting instructor of the Padres, said that the reason Finley is a better hitter and a more powerful hitter in the 3-hole is he sticks his nose in the ball. Never heard that expression.
Gets into one into deep right. Isn't enough. Track wall. 2-1 Dodgers. Number 30. Tim, you can say what you will about Caminiti. Should win the MVP award, but Finley is right there with him, about a step behind all year.
See the head, though? See how the head goes down like that? When he was a leadoff batter, he was more erect. It's almost like bobbing for baseballs. You go down and get it, and that's where that lift has come. 30 home runs on the year for Steve Finley.
Previous high had been 11.
You're right. He is right behind Caminiti. What a year.
Just ahead of him in the lineup. And here's Caminiti at the plate. Nobody on or out. And a 2-0 count from Nomo. These Padres will not go away.
Homered against Nomo last Sunday. And a big one here today.
2-0 now to count on Caminiti. Capable of the same thunder. 2-1. That's now 4 home runs for Steve Finley in the last 2 weekend series against the Dodgers. 3 last weekend, 1 here today. And this crowd at Dodger Stadium, and it is packed. Very quiet. Caminiti breaks his bat, gets a hit. And Caminiti slams the handle into the ground, and it's standing. The bat boy will go pick it up. Caminetti upset that he lost the bat, but most guys will take a hit for a bat any day.
Number 22.
Any day.
Wally
Ken
Joyner.
Caminetti actually broke his bat in 3 different places. I guess San Diego fans may refer to this as the Splendid Splinter from now on out.
So Caminetti doing a little bit of everything. And we now know that he was a wonderful mumbly peg player as a young kid. Sticks the handle of the bat right in the ground, puts an exclamation point on the end of that hit. And here is Wally Joyner. Can you blame Karros for not diving to his right after that ball with that weapon coming at him? Here is Joyner, who was 0 for 2. And the tying run is on for the Padres here in the 6th. Two and 0 on Joyner. Two and 0 on Joyner. A leadoff home run by Finley, his 30th of the year, to make it a 1-run game. A broken bat base hit by Caminetti. Now Joyner a base hit to right. Caminetti will stop at second, and the go-ahead run is on.
Falling behind again. Nomo on the 2-0 fastball, and Wally Joyner hammers one to right. Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, is going to talk to Nomo, and I would imagine the conversation is really going to be about where Nomo goes if indeed Chris Gomez tries to bunt.
2 on with nobody out. Darren Dreifert, who throws as hard as anybody in baseball, warming up for the Dodgers in their bullpen. Read the lips of Dave Wallace saying, let's go have some fun. And this ought to be fun and very interesting for Nomo with 2 on, nobody out in a 1-run game. Padres looking for their first hit with a man in scoring position. This is the chance Bruce Bochy and the Padres were looking for, and they get it.
Joe, the Dodgers are looking for a bunt. They've really accordioned the middle of the infield and brought Karros and Wallach in tight. They're looking for the sacrifice.
Gomez shows it early. Strike 1. Throw behind the runner. Caminetti back.
Now, Chris Gomez is showing bunt too early. Now he wants to bunt the ball down the third base line to get Tim Wallach to field it. This pitch on the inside corner. Throw by Piazza almost got through Gagnon.
Caminetti at second, cheating a little, trying to get as close as he can. Nearly went too far.
It would be a good time to put the hit on, because the Dodger infield in a state of flux right now. They're in a state of transition.
2 on, nobody out. A 2-1 Dodger lead, 6th inning. And a 1-1 count on Gomez. We talked earlier about staying aggressive in a game like this.
Yep.
And on that last pitch, at least, Bruce Bochy abandoned the bunt.
I think the reason for that is who you have coming up after Gomez. You can't pinch hit for Brian Johnson. Jody Reed, your second baseman, not a guy with a lot of pop.
Nomo takes too long. Brian Johnson will be next. But it's Gomez now who has doubled and walked. Two on, nobody out, 6th inning, and that's into right down the line. Caminetti will score to tie it. Joyner heads to third. Gomez into second. It's a 2-2 game.
What a huge hit for Chris Gomez.
Number 25.
Fastball away. He rifles it down the right field line. Bruce Bochy put the bunt on with the first pitch. And the Padres have tied it with a chance to do a lot more damage.
Yeah, not only do they tie it, but Joyner goes first at third. Gomez with his second double of the day. His first RBI. It's a 2-2 game. Nobody out. And the batter is the catcher, Brian Johnson, 0 for 2.
Dodgers are leaving their infield back. It's a bit of a surprise. They're in at the corners, first and third. I think the reason that Bill Russell is leaving the shortstop and second baseman back in this situation, there's nobody out. With one out, you bring them in.
Runners on at second and third. Nobody out. And the 0-1 to Johnson. Able to lay off. 1 ball, 1 strike. A leadoff home run by Finley. A base hit on a broken bat by Caminiti. Joyner a base hit to right. Gomez the RBI double to right. And now a 1-1 coming to Johnson. Popped up. And a big out for the Dodgers. DeShields wants it. Has it. 1 away.
Now you'll see the infield come in with Jody Reed, the batter.
Second baseman, number 3, Jody.
So Johnson pops up, and with second and third, 1 out, here's Jody Reed again. Every time it seems like he comes up in a key spot. He's driven in 49, and so far today 0 for 2.
Now the infield is still back. Now this surprises me. I think Bill Russell should bring the middle infielders in right here. Jody Reed does not have the type of authority with this swing that can really drive the ball by a closed-in infielder. I think this is a little too conservative right now.
A ground ball to either of the middle infielders puts San Diego on top. Second and third, 1 out. Nomo has got to come right after Jody Reed. On deck is the pitcher, Ashby. Depending on the circumstances, he'll either hit or be hit for. Second and third, 1 out, tie game. Two and 0. Tim Worrell, who was the winner here last night for San Diego, getting ready in the Padre bullpen. Nomo up to 100 pitches for the day. 5 strikeouts, but none since the first out back in the third. Second and third, 1 out. And a 2-1 count on Jody Reed. Bill Russell and the Dodgers led 2-0 coming into this inning. And who jump-started this offense? Steve Finley.
That looks like Scott Livingstone right there, who will, in all probability, be the pinch hitter for Andy Ashby.
Second and third, 1 out. Tie game, 2-1 to Reed. 2-2.
Nasty inside fastball from Nomo. Reed thought it was inside.
So from 2-0 to 2-2. Nomo thinking strikeout. Got it. Now the runner kicks the ball away. Reed is called out for the second out of the inning. Nomo needed the strikeout, and he got it. As the ball hit Jody Reed, it rolled away from home plate. And the home plate umpire, Steve Ripley, immediately calls him out.
Be a good play in soccer, though.
Doesn't work here in this game.
Splitter in the dirt.
For the Padres.
That ball almost always a ball when it's effective. And you can see Jody Reed kicking it with his right foot out of harm's way of Mike Piazza. So Reed automatically out.
So Johnson couldn't do it. He popped up. Reed strikes out. And the batter will be one of the league's best pinch hitters, Scott Livingstone. Not only good off the bench, but hitting .360 with runners in scoring position. .294 for the year. Nine hits, 2 walks in his last 25 pinch hitting appearances. Runners at second and third, 2 down. Tie game, 6th inning. And a strike to Livingstone. Runner at third, Joyner. Runner at second, Gomez. They were there with nobody out. They're there with 2 out. Livingstone successful here last night as a pinch hitter. Base hit, might score 2. 1-1.
And if you're the runner on third, as Wally Joyner is, you have to be thinking about a pass ball or a wild pitch. Nomo has thrown 11 wild pitches this year, most of them on the splitter.
One to Livingstone. Little high, 2-1. In case you're wondering, Ricky Henderson waits on deck. But it's up to Nomo and Livingstone with runners at second and third in a 2-2 game. Strike 2.
He reached back for that fastball. This is the best fastball he's thrown this afternoon. Really had some late pop on it.
And in a good spot.
Yeah, right there.
Dodger fans want another strikeout. A 26-pitch inning for Hideo Nomo. The first 4 reached in the inning, including a home run and a double. And if Nomo and the Dodgers would only give up 2 runs, they would sprint off the field. Got it. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning. The Padres get 2. They wanted more. But they had loftier thoughts. At second and third, nobody out, and the runners never budged. Joe Buck and Tim McCarver with you. Our game summary. Piazza has driven in a run. Delano DeShields drove in the first run today for the Dodgers. They led 2-0. Tony Gwynn is 0 for 3 so far, but Finley got the offense kick-started with his 30th home run of the year, leading off in the top of this 6th inning. Gomez has had a big day. You wouldn't have figured on a big one from Chris Gomez. A big night last night. He's 2 for 2, a game-tying RBI double. And now with a 2-2 game, here's Todd's younger brother, Tim. This guy can pitch. 8 and 7 a winner here last night in relief.
Yeah, real oddity with brothers perhaps pitching in a clincher, because somebody's going to clinch something after this game's over.
Padres could clinch the wild card with a win and then have a chance to win the division tomorrow. The Dodgers could clinch the NL West with a win here this afternoon. That's what's on the line as Hollingsworth leads it off. The number 2 hitter in the Dodger lineup. Quickly an 0-2 count. Hollingsworth 1 out of 2, but only 1 out of his last 17 for the Dodgers. Worrell pitched a perfect 9th inning here last night. He has been outstanding out of the bullpen. Todd Hollingsworth has been outstanding all year for the Dodgers. Rookie of the year. Probably take that question mark away. Hollingsworth stays alive. And a 2-2 count. Piazza next, and then Karras. One away, and a good start to the 6th inning for Tim Worrell.
Boy, that was a wicked slider down and off the plate to Hollingsworth. Watch the break on this ball. That pitch serves, it's a 2-pitch in 1 pitch. It not only slides, but it sinks. Nasty.
So Hollingsworth 1 out of 3 this afternoon, and the batter will be Piazza. A bloop single his last time up for an RBI with 2 out. Piazza has hit 36 home runs. Good for 9th in the National League. One ball, 1 strike.
There's Piazza, very dangerous on the hands and down and in. Even Abner Doubleday would approve that chart. High, tight, low, and away. Pitch him there, you get anybody out. That's why it's so tough to put that chart up with these hitters, because location, only one of the elements in getting a hitter out. Late movement, staying ahead.
Worrell here behind in the count, 2-1. 3-1. Karras waiting on deck. A 2-2 game, bottom of the 6th inning. Hollingsworth struck out. Piazza on 3-1. Draws a 1-out walk. One on, 1 out.
Number 23.
Bruce Bochy, Dan Worthen.
Harris.
Watching Worrell issue the walk to Piazza. Now Karras. Eric has flied to right twice. Seen Karras a lot lately, taking pitches up and out over the plate, hitting the ball with authority out into right.
Using the other field for the last week, and he certainly, like any hitter, is a better hitter when you use the opposite field. But his power is going to come from the pitch inside. It was almost as though when he took that last pitch, he was looking for something away.
What a job Hideo Nomo did to get into and out of trouble in the top of this inning. 1 on, 1 out. And now Tim Worrell behind 2-0 on Eric Karras. Tie game, 6th inning, and that's strike 1 on Eric. 2-1. Mondesi on deck. He already has a hit today and is as hot as any Dodger hitter in this lineup. One on, one out. 2-1 to Karras. 2-2. Padres tied this game at the top of the inning, missed a golden opportunity to take the lead. It's a 2-2 score. And a full count on Eric Karras.
I think you have to send Piazza right here. Karras has hit into 25 double plays this year. And by sending Karras, as a matter of fact, they're holding him on now.
He is going. Karras stays alive.
That's a very subtle, good move by Bruce Bochy. Wally Joyner was playing behind Mike Piazza until the count was 3-2, and then he held him on. That was that 3-2 pitch that Karras fouled back. Piazza held at first.
Now
keep him a step or two closer.
And if you can get the ball by Karras, you can get out of this inning. Not going, and Karras stays alive at 3-2. To Piazza, and a 3-2 count on Eric Karras. Piazza not running, and Karras fouls another.
That was a high slider that Worrell would love to have had back. Eric Karras just missing his pitch. A real lazy slider up and out over the middle of the plate. Karras fouls it back.
Again, the 3-2. Into left center field. Finley at the wall. 2 out. And Piazza all the way back to first.
Right fielder.
That's what happens when you hit a heavy sinker. A guy like Tim Worrell, most of the time you're going to put the ball in play on the ground. If it's in the air, you can't get a lot behind it. Even a guy who is as strong as Karras.
Finley had another step or two before he was up against the wall. And now with 1 on, 2 out, the batter Mondesi. Almost walked into one. Ball 1. So the Dodgers get a 1-out walk to Piazza. Karras, the fly ball to deep center, and now a 1-0 count on Mondesi. Strike 1. Mondesi has a single today and a run scored. 1 out of 2, and his average sitting at .298. He's hit 24 home runs, driven in 88. Tim Worrell trying to pitch around a 1-out walk. Strike 2 on Mondesi.
One of the big reasons that Mondesi has been such a hot hitter over the last month, he's been much more selective. Not swinging at nearly as many bad balls as before, says Reggie Smith, the Dodgers hitting instructor. But if you're the Padre pitcher now, if you're Tim Worrell, you want to go out of the zone, low and away, preferably.
1-2, and Mondesi able to get a piece of that pitch. The month of September, Raul Mondesi hitting .384. He's driven in 20. The rest of this game and tomorrow to go during the regular season. The Dodgers will be in postseason in 1996. The question remains, will it be as the NL Western Division champion or as a wild card? Still 1-2. Osuna, the left-hander, getting ready for San Diego. Willie Blair, another hard-throwing right-hander, getting ready for the Padres. Worrell has had a rather uneventful inning, but a long inning. 1-2 to Mondesi. Broken back, ground ball to Gomez. To Pop, stays with it, inning over. A one-out walk to Piazza. Worrell gets around it. They've banged heads all year long. After 6 in game number 161, tied at 2. 3 innings have in store for us here at Dodger Stadium. A 2-2 game, 2/3 of the way through it. Our men in trivia question: in the last 50 years, which 2 pitchers won 200 games under a particular manager? I can hear you working on that one, Tim.
I think that manager is going to be Walter Alston. 23 years, 23 one-year contracts. Only multi-year contracts the Dodgers have given their managers over the last 45 years was the one given to Tommy Lasorda, his last 2. Talked to Fred Clare last night, Fred, the general manager, and he said that he and Bill Russell have been talking about next year, but no official. There's Fred. There's been nothing official, and that is the Dodgers' policy. Usually they wait until postseason play to determine whether a manager deserves a contract. But everybody knows that it's just a formality. With Bill Russell, he has done that kind of job.
Frank Robinson in attendance here this afternoon. Watching Ricky Henderson lead it off, top of the order in the 7th inning. It'll be Henderson, Gwynn, and Finley. Ricky's hit the ball hard twice and drawn a walk. He has a hit, 2 stolen bases. Definitely a big part of this game so far.
And the first time in these 4 at-bats that Nomo has thrown a first-pitch strike to Henderson.
Have to credit Hideo Nomo with great work to get through that 6th inning, only allowing the 2 runs to score, and now having enough left to go back out for the 7th.
2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Johnson with the pop-up. Jody Reed with a strikeout. Scott Livingstone with a strikeout.
Nobody getting loose for the Dodgers in their bullpen. 1-1 to Henderson. The patience Ricky Henderson has to have and display game after game, at bat after at bat, is amazing.
One of the most important things to get across to a young hitter, you have to know how to take to hit.
Henderson, one of the best at that in the history of this game. He takes a swing and he pops to Karros, 1 away. Why don't we answer our men in trivia question?
All right.
While we have a minute. Before Tony Gwynn walks to the plate.
I think Don Drysdale's the answer to one of them. I can't think of the other pitcher. Can you?
The last 50 years, which 2 pitchers won 200 games under a particular manager, Jim Palmer under Earl Weaver, and Don Drysdale under Walter Alston. A couple of Hall of Famers. And now Tony Gwynn, who is most likely a future Hall of Famer, hitting .353. Digs in, 1 out, nobody on. Nomo delivers just high for ball 1. Tony Gwynn trying to become the 7th player since 1900 to hit .350 in 4 straight years. So far today, 0 for 3. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
I'll tell you what's odd about the defensive outfield of the Dodgers is Wayne Kirby. He was over in the right center field. There's too big a gap in the left center, because Tony's inclined to go that way.
One out, nobody on. Down the right field line, he broke his bat. He gets a hit. Gwynn has a single and most likely an error. Gwynn was content to stop with a single, but Mondesi dropped it. Gwynn kept going, and he's at second with only one out.
Yeah, Tony Gwynn was not about to test Mondesi's arm. He slowed down going to first. Raul gets to the ball in fine fashion, but he hurries the throw and drops the ball. He kicked it with his left heel, and by that time, Tony Gwynn goes into second.
12th error of the year for Mondesi, a single E9. And now a base hit could put the Padres on top for the first time today. Here's Finley. Steve homered his last time up, his 30th of the year. In the 6th inning with the Padres shut out up to this point. Finley hit number 30 way out in right.
It was a fastball, and Nomo comes right back with a fastball his next at bat.
Now the 0-1. If San Diego wins today, tomorrow, these two teams will battle for the division. Darren Dreifert and Scott Radinsky getting ready for the Dodgers as Nomo has allowed the one-out hit and then was hurt by the error by Mondesi here in the 7th. Into left center field, slicing away from Kirby. It's trouble at the track. 2 out. Gwynn tags and moves to third, but he's there with 2 down.
Steve Finley on a fastball away lifts it to left center. When a hitter hits the ball the other way, he can't use his body for extension. And Kirby tracks it down, Gwynn to third.
Ken Caminetti has got to be among the league leaders in conferences on the mound. He comes up, out walks Piazza, in walks Karras. They'll talk it over. And they'll ask Hideo Nomo if he wants to bother pitching to Caminetti with 2 out. And the go-ahead run at third, put him on and pitch to Joyner.
Joe, it seems to make sense to not walk him intentionally. I mean, Wally Joyner's certainly not an out guy. But if you do pitch to him, try to throw him high fastballs or fastballs inside. They're going to walk him.
Much to the pleasure of the Dodger fans. This will be the 4th walk of the day issued by Nomo. First intentional walk. And the pressure will fall to Wally Joyner. And I wonder if Nomo will stay in and face Joyner or if they'll go to Radinsky.
I would think Radinsky would be the guy right here. I think this move, if Nomo was going to stay in the game, they would try to pitch Caminetti high fastballs or inside. But by walking him, I think that signals a time for Scott Radinsky, especially with Joyner having singled his last time up.
Here comes Bill Russell.
Joyner.
And most likely, here comes Scott Radinsky. Yes, he already makes the signal to the bullpen. And Hideo Nomo's day is finished. He will not get the win today. Could be in line for the loss. That depends on Radinsky and Joyner. Nomo out, Radinsky in. Tie game, 7th inning. An effort today by Hideo Nomo, but no win. Depends on the bullpen whether he gets a loss or not. 122 pitch day, 6 2/3 innings, and his teammates greet him. Good effort today by Nomo, especially last inning after allowing the Padres to tie it. They had 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. A pop-up, 2 strikeouts later, he was out of trouble, but back into trouble. here in the 7th, and now Radinsky facing Joyner. And a check on Caminiti with Gwynn across the way at third. 2 out. Good numbers for Radinsky.
57th appearance of the year for the left-hander. He is nasty on left-handed hitting, just because of that type of pitch right there. It is very difficult to keep that front side in against a guy who throws as hard and drops down like Radinsky does.
Gwynn at third, Caminiti at first. 2 out, tie game, top of the 7th. And Joyner right now looks overmatched.
Three-quarter, 2 fastballs right by Joyner.
The Padres 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position and 2 out today. And 1 out of 11 with runners in scoring position overall. Runners at the corners, 2 out, and a 2-2 game, 7th inning. Joyner in the hole, 1 and 2. Got it. Radinsky does his job. It's time to stretch this capacity crowd. They love it. Bottom of the 7th inning, 2-2 game. In a luxury suite, applauding the Dodgers, their efforts as they try to win the NL West with a win here today. Wednesday, it's Game 2 of the American League Division Series as Texas faces the Yankees. Thursday, it's Game 2 of the National League Division Series as Atlanta begins their quest for a 2nd consecutive World Championship. Coverage begins at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Check local listing. That's next week. Right around the corner, Tim Wallach leads it off and looks at ball 1 from Tim Worrell. 2-2 game, bottom of the 7th.
And Atlanta knows that it will be going to one of 3 cities, Los Angeles, San Diego, or St. Louis.
1-0, the count on Wallach. Foul. Wallach, DeShields, and Gagne will bat here in the 7th.
Tim Worrell getting away with a hanging slider.
To third for Caminiti. Good arm. 1 out.
That's why Caminiti can be sure on ground balls. A guy with a lesser arm would have to charge a ball like that. It wasn't hit that hard, but he can lay back on a ball and make up for any distance with that strong throwing arm. Probably the best arm for a third baseman in the National League.
You know, it's interesting. I would imagine most people would tell you that after winning the Gold Glove last year, Caminiti will get it again, along with his MVP award, which he figures to get. But Caminiti has committed 20 errors this year over at third base. But with Matt Williams out for most of the season, Caminiti has been outstanding at third. One of the unsung very good defensive third baseman in the National League this year is Gary Gaetti in St. Louis. 1 out, nobody on. And quickly an 0-2 count on DeShields.
Well, errors for left side of the infielders are not always the mark of whether a guy's doing the job or not. He gets to so many balls that most guys wouldn't get to anyway.
Leadoff man is gone, and a 1-2 count on DeShields, who is 1 out of 2. Gagne, the number 8 hitter, is next. One-two from Worrell. Just missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Padres in the 8th inning will have Gomez, Johnson, and Reed. Again to the left side. This time Gomez. 2 gone. Chris Gomez, playing in his first pennant race, doesn't appear phased at all.
No.
A couple of doubles, a walk today. Made that play easily. 2 out here in the 7th.
Hey, it's almost as though the crowd has forgotten the importance of this game. In a sense, this game has all of a sudden settled back into a game that more like a middle of June game instead of the 161st game of the year.
Dodgers win today, they win the NL West. Padres win today, comes down to tomorrow. 2 out, nobody on. Gagne looks at ball 1. Greg is 0 for 2. Grounded out, fouled out to first. Hitting .255. Wallach grounded out, DeShields grounded out, and now a 2-0 count on Gagne. Pitcher spot due up next, and they have Dave Clark getting ready. He would bat for Radinsky if Gagne can keep the 7th inning alive. Two and 1. There's Todd Worrell on the right, leading the major leagues in saves, and Dreifert, who throws as hard as anyone, on the left. So that was in on his hands. And a 2-2 count.
Little helicopter shot going down toward Ken Caminiti. This is what's known as being sawed off, folks. All he's got left is a saber.
Can't do much with that, and Gagne back to the bench to get a new one.
Isn't it a little surprising to you to see Todd Worrell up here in the 7th inning?
Absolutely. It's a 2-2 game. 2 out, nobody on, nothing really shaking for the Dodgers right now. Unless Todd is throwing on his own to get loose. You wouldn't think that would be the case.
No.
By him getting loose, you almost wonder if the Dodgers would happen to take the lead here in the 7th, if this would be a 2-inning day for Worrell. 2 out, nobody on, and the 2-2 to Gagne. Dodgers go 1, 2, 3 in the 7th, down to the final 2 innings. Game number 161. Tim Worrell has done his job. We're still tied 2-2. Into the 8th inning, a 2-2 game. Good relief work, good pitching all day long. Padres bat, and they face the hard-throwing right-hander Darren Dreifert, who missed last year, recovering from reconstructive surgery to repair a ligament in his throwing elbow. But Tim, you would never know it with the kind of velocity he gets.
98-mile-an-hour fastball. Tony Gwynn telling us last week that Dreifert on Friday night, that's 8 days ago, threw harder than any pitcher he's seen this year.
Gomez first up. What a day he's had. A walk, 2 doubles, an RBI, and he looks at strike 1. Dodgers used Antonio Osuna here last night. He was the loser in the 10th inning. So they go with younger Darren Dreifert, who was pitching in just his 2nd season in the big leagues. After a very good freshman year, he missed his sophomore year with a bad elbow. Strike 2 on Gomez. Johnson and Reed will follow. 6, 7, and 8 for San Diego in the 8th inning. Got him over the outside corner. So Dreifert starts strong. Tomorrow on Fox NFL Sunday, go around the league and find out who's the best team in the NFL. Join Terry, Howie, JB, and Ronnie for a full hour of America's favorite pregame show. It all begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Check local listings. 1 away here in the 8th inning, and the batter is Brian Johnson, 0 for 3. Right at Karros. The juggle, the toss, 2 down. So Johnson has had a rough day. Had a chance to put the Padres on top back in the 6th. And he popped up, and here he's the second out in the 8th inning.
Jammed, he kind of pushes the ball towards first base and in between hop for Karras. But the right side of the infield can afford that luxury. They don't have to make the snap throws more often than not and can afford the bobble and still get their man.
And now with 2 out, nobody on, the batter is Jody Reed. I think you're seeing why a lot of teams consider the Dodgers as dangerous or more dangerous than Atlanta in the playoffs. Whether it's a 5-game series or a 7-game series, when you can throw out the kind of starting pitching that the Dodgers can and then back it up with this kind of work out of your bullpen, good luck.
Dodgers have a better bullpen than the Braves. A lot of talk in the Los Angeles area that it would be easier for the Dodgers to beat the Braves in a 3-out-of-5 set than a 4-out-of-7 set. And I think that's probably true. I think the Dodgers could utilize their bullpen more in a shorter series.
3-1 on Jody Reed. Trying to get on with 2 out. Doug Bockler getting ready for the Padres in their bullpen. Into left field, a 2-out hit. That keeps the top of the 8th inning alive, and that will bring in a pinch hitter, Greg Vaughn.
Your attention, please. For the Padres, now batting for Orel. Number 7, Greg.
The 2-out hit by Jody Reed. Dreifert goes right through Gomez and Johnson. Falls behind Reed 3-1 and pays the price, and now here's Greg Vaughn. The numbers for the entire year for Vaughn, hitting only .206 with San Diego with 10 home runs. Great work by Tim Worrell while he was in there. 2 shutout innings, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. A little high, ball 1.
Greg Vaughn obtained by the Padres on July 31st. He could erase the problems he has had over the last 2 months with 1 swing of the bat.
To the left side, Gagne in the hole, tough play, not in time. And the infield hit keeps the 8th inning alive.
That was the only chance that Greg Gagne had, was to try to get Jody Reed at second, but as you can see, Reed with a very good jump. And Gagne kind of curling that ball. And the call was saved very close. Call made by Mark Hirschbeck. Didn't get it out of his glove immediately. I have an animated partner next to me that thinks that Jody Reed was out.
I thought that first replay showed the runner was out.
I agree with you.
Little tension relief for Bill Russell.
That's a courtesy rub right there.
That's what happens when you take over for Tommy Lasorda mid-season. You come down to the final 2 games of the season to try to win the NL West. And now with 2 on, 2 out, here's Ricky Henderson. He could put the Padres on top for the first time today. Let's watch that replay again on the play at second.
Looked as though he was out.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Now 2 on, 2 out, and a 1-0 count on Henderson. Has 1 hit here this afternoon. 2-0. Jody Reed, the 2-out hit. Successful pinch hitting appearance for Greg Vaughn, and now Dave Wallace will trot out and talk to Dreifert, who is in a tight spot here in the 8th inning.
He may be telling Dreifert not to give in to Ricky Henderson because the left-hander Mark Guthrie is warming for the Dodgers. So should Henderson walk, then Guthrie will be brought in to pitch to Tony Gwynn. But every time Henderson has been at the plate today, he's hit ahead of the count. That's what we were talking about when Ricky was up the last time. There's nobody better at getting a predictable hit pitch to hit than Ricky Henderson.
Henderson has walked once today, 124 times this season. 2 on, 2 out, tie game, 8th inning. 2-1 on Henderson. Ricky has driven in 29. And certainly no stranger to late September games or postseason play. Reifert rolled through the first 2 in this 8th inning, but back-to-back hits by Reed and Vaughn. Ooh, just missed. And a 3-1 count on Henderson.
Ricky's also got a very small strike zone. Mike Piazza going from the outside part to the inside part, and catchers usually do not get that pitch for a strike. You're sitting away and the ball's inside. More often than not, it's called a ball.
Now 2 on, 2 out, and a 3-1 count on Henderson. Driver just reared back, and Ricky couldn't catch up. 3-2. The runners will go with this next pitch. He waits on deck. On Henderson. Bases are loaded for Tony Gwynn. So after retiring the first 2 and with the number 8 hitter up, Reifert fell behind 3-1, and that has really hurt him. Reed gets the hit, Vaughn the infield hit, a walk to Henderson. Here comes Gwynn, and here comes Russell. Mark Guthrie trots in from the bullpen, and he has the unenviable task of facing Tony Gwynn with a bases loaded 2 out in a 2-2 game here in the 8th. We'll take a break, come back. Reifert out. Guthrie in. Gwynn coming up.
Fans have in their favor is you can't pelt the Padre, can you? However, right before we showed that shot, several objects were fired off the shoulders of the good Padres there.
You come dressed as a Padre, you ask for trouble. Gwynn has been dressing like a Padre for years. Guthrie, 2 out of 3 out of the Dodger bullpen. And he is in with 1 save on the year, but 1 mission today. That is to get Tony Gwynn. Bases loaded, 2 out. A 2-2 game, top of the 8th.
That was Brett Butler bringing Todd Hollinsworth in about 3 steps in left field.
Well, the bases loaded, 1 grand slam for Tony. Well over 400. Today, 1 out of 4. (2-0) from Guthrie. Bruce Bochy and the Padres another chance to overtake the Dodgers. Missed a golden opportunity in the 6th inning, and they have the bases loaded 2 out and a 2-0 count on Tony Gwynn. Two and 1. Tony can work that umpire, can he?
Just like Ricky Henderson, I think Tony is saying that pitch is where the first pitch was. Did appear to have the corner, however.
Bases loaded, 2 out. To the left side and through. Reed scores. Here comes Vaughn. It's a 2-run single and a 4-2 Padre lead.
With that hit, Tony Gwynn possibly could put the Padres into the playoffs and win the batting title with one swing.
Fielder, number 12, Steve Ridley.
The Padres finally break through. They lead 4-2 in the 8th inning. With that hit, it means Ellis Burks would have to go better than 5 for 5 tomorrow to take the batting title. So Gwynn puts the Padres on top here in the 8th inning, and now 2-on-2 out for Finley and ball 1. The Dodgers led by 2 until the 6th. Jody Reed started this rally with a 2-out hit. Should end the inning. DeShields the flip and the inning is over. But not before the Padres get 2 runs. 3 hits, 2 left. Tony Gwynn comes through. The Padres would have rather had no one else at the plate. Padres up by 2.
Fox Saturday Baseball is brought to you by Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust. By Zantac 75, the final word in acid relief. By Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. And by Valvoline Durablend, the #1 selling semi-synthetic motor oil.
Well, a beautiful day in Southern California. South of here, they celebrate. In L.A., this hurt. Tony Gwynn, the 2-out, 2-run single. And the Padres lead 4-2 into the bottom of the 8th inning. Guthrie did the best he could. Gwynn just a little better. Guthrie fell behind, and it cost him.
Your attention, please.
A 2-out rally that scores 2, and now here in the bottom of the 8th inning, the Dodgers trail by 2. And Doug Bockler, a racket of 2 and 4, takes over, and today he'll try to set up Trevor Hoffman.
Bockler. Leading off the Dodgers. And batting for Guthrie, number 35.
What an odd feeling that only the wild card formula introduces. The Dodgers clinching postseason play last night, but very disappointed at being where they are this afternoon.
Greg Vaughn, who came up with an infield pinch hit single, stays in the game and left. Here's Dave Clark leading off, and that's strike 1. Clark is batting for Guthrie. Guthrie 1/3 of an inning, 1 hit, and it hurt. The 2 runs are charged to Dreifert. And the Dodgers will need a new pitcher in the 9th. 2-run lead early for the Dodgers, but it has slipped away. That'll stay in play for Caminiti. Dave Clark, the first out here in the 8th. Al Bundy has Saturday night fever. Tonight, Married with Children moves to its new night with a season premiere you have to see to believe. Catch the season premiere of Primetime Cops at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, followed by Married with Children and the series premiere of Love and Marriage. Tonight, right here on Fox.
If the Dodgers lose this afternoon, in all probability, Ramon Martinez will be the pitcher tomorrow to enhance the Dodgers' chances of winning the division. However, Bruce Bochy telling me before the game that if the Padres win today, Joey Hamilton, their ace, will not be the starter tomorrow.
Most likely it would be Bob Tewksbury.
Right.
Who had been demoted to the bullpen. He will make the start tomorrow if the Padres win. If the Padres win, they clinch at least the wild card berth. And a chance tomorrow with a win to win the West. Here's Kirby. 2 balls and a strike from Bockler.
There's Joey Hamilton right there. The reason that he would not be the starter unless the Padres lose and Montreal wins tonight is that he'll be working on 3 days rest with a sore shoulder.
2-1 on Kirby. Now a borderline pitch, 2-2. Kirby didn't like that call. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hollingsworth is next. The big three will bat again for the Dodgers before the end of the day. Full count now on Kirby. What hurts the Dodgers, if they have to pitch Ramon Martinez tomorrow, they don't have him to start their playoff series with whoever it may be.
Right. Which could mean that Bill Russell could rethink tomorrow.
A one-out walk. Kirby is on for the first time today. Only the second walk handed to the Dodgers this afternoon. Now Hollingsworth, 1 out of 3 this afternoon.
Increasingly tougher to hit because of the shadows that are now surrounding home plate.
1 on, 1 out. Hollingsworth way late, strike 1.
That looked like a swing where he didn't pick the ball up very well.
Trevor Hoffman, the Padre closer, getting ready here in the 8th inning. This could become very dangerous if Hollingsworth can get on. Piazza waits on deck, then Karros.
That's a good point, Joe, because with their best, Piazza being up there, and then Karros, then I think Bruce Bochy will go to his best, and that's Trevor Hoffman. Even though it is a bit early, normally Hoffman in the 9th inning.
0-1 to Hollingsworth. Late again, strike 2. He's going to have to crank it up a notch. Backed up at no balls, 2 strikes. Bruce Bochy and the Padres won here last night in 10 innings, 5-2. They lead here 4-2 in the bottom of the 8th. 1 on, 1 out. Hollingsworth stays alive. By the time Eric Karros bats, it's safe to say, whether it's here in the 8th inning or the 9th inning, Bachler will be long gone.
This may be his last batter regardless of what happens here.
1 on, 1 out. 0-2 to Hollingsworth. That's trying to get out of play. May not. Caminetti there. 2 up. Had about 1 more step. Hollingsworth 1 out of 4. And that's the second out here in the 8th.
And Caminetti realizing that there's only one guy who's going to help him. That's Brian Johnson, the catcher. No help whatsoever from the Dodger bench. Johnson comes into your screen, and he is telling Ken that he's all right, and he squeezes it for the second out.
Now Piazza. Tying run at the plate. Mike today is 1 out of 2. He's hit 36 home runs this year. Strike 1 on the outside corner. The Dodgers have not had a base runner reach second base or beyond since the 3rd inning. Good pitching by Ashby, Worrell, and now Butler. Up the middle, Gomez to his left. Piazza, his threat is gone, as are the Dodgers in the 8th. 1 inning remains on Saturday, September 28th. Padres lead LA 4-2. Well, we're into the 9th inning, and the Padres down at 1.2 to nothing. Tied LA in the 6th. They lead Los Angeles 4-2 into the 9th inning. I'd like to thank a lot of people for bringing you the sights and sounds from Dodger Stadium. The senior coordinating producer of Major League Baseball on Fox, and the producer of today's game is John Filippelli. Directed by Billy Webb. Associate director Lance Garrett, Kathy Hunt. Broadcast associates Barry Landis and Jordy Wimmer. Studio show produced by David Banks, directed by Bob Levy. Executive producers of Fox Sports are David Hill and Ed Gorin. This is Antonio Osuna. That's Ken Caminetti, and that's one pitch. One out barely here in the 9th inning. We'd like to thank Steve Horn up here in the booth for all of his work. Leadoff man is gone. Osuna, who was the loser here last night, takes care of Caminetti, one away in the 9th inning.
Joyner.
Postseason baseball is just around the corner. Gets underway next week. Fox will bring you portions of the division series, then the entire National League Championship Series, and the entire 1996 World Series. One out, nobody on for Joyner, who looks at strike one. Wally, a big hit back in the 6th inning, which set up the RBI double by Gomez. That tied the game. Into center field for Kirby. 2 out. So Wednesday, it's game 2 of the American League Division Series as Texas faces the New York Yankees. Thursday, it's game 2 of the National League Division Series as Atlanta begins their quest for a second World Series championship. Coverage begins at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Check local listings. Playoff baseball coming your way next week here on Fox. Here's Chris Gomez, 2 out, nobody on. And a ball inside.
And if San Diego wins today, where will Atlanta play? Los Angeles or San Diego? And the winner of tomorrow's game will dictate where Atlanta plays.
2 out, nobody on. Gomez, a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Coming up in the bottom of the 9th inning, Tim and I will award today's Chevrolet Player of the Game.
If San Diego wins today, the loser of tomorrow's game plays Atlanta. And the winner goes to St. Louis.
2 out, nobody on. Good breaking ball from Osuna, strike 2. Osuna pitched that rough 10th inning for the Dodgers last night. The Padres scored 3 and won 5-2. Bases empty, 2 out, inning over. Top of the 9th inning is history, and Osuna mowed down the Padres 1-2-3. Eric Karros will lead it off. Then Mondesi and Wallach. Bottom of the 9th inning, Dodgers down by 2. Lead 4-2, bottom of the 9th inning, and here's Trevor Hoffman with 40 saves, 3rd best in the National League.
Back in 1993, Joe McIlvain, who was then the general manager of the San Diego Padres, was told to get rid of the high-priced ball players. Gary Sheffield, Fred McGriff were 2 of them. Sheffield went to Florida, and coming to the Padres, Kevin Hoffman with 2 other right-handers. And has he ever paid dividends for San Diego?
Trevor got the save in last night's game, his 40th of the year. He will deal with Karras, Mondesi, and Wallach. Dodgers need 2 to tie, 3 to win. Not only the game, but the NL West. Karras 0 for 3 today. 1-ball, 1-strike. Again, a win by the Padres here this afternoon. And they will have a chance tomorrow to win the NL West. 1-1 to Karras. That's down the line in trouble. It is fair and into the corner. Karras chugging into second with a lead-off double.
We said earlier that one of the reasons that Eric Karros, his average has improved, he has been going the other way. He has hit 2 balls solidly down the right field line today. Double number 29 on the year for Karros to open the Dodgers' ninth.
think Eric thought that ball was going to hop into the seats. He was only rounding first when Gwynn came up with it. But he has the double to start the 9th inning, and the batter will be Mondesi. As hot a bat as there is in the Dodger lineup. Trevor Hoffman, the 4th pitcher of the day for the Padres. Gives up a leadoff double, now has an 0-2 count on Mondesi.
Boy, did he get away with one there. Hanging breaking ball to a good off-speed hitter. That ball had hit me written all over it. Raul fouls it back.
And now set up at 0-2. Wallach will be next. Then DeShields. The scheduled hitters, no one getting ready for the Padres in their bullpen. It's Hoffman's game now. One away as he strikes out. Mondesi blew a fastball right by him.
Third baseman, number 29, Tim Wallach.
So there's the first out in the bottom of the 9th inning after the leadoff double. Mondesi will end the day 1 out of 4. And it's now up to Tim Wallach, who is 0 for 3.
San Diego outfield will play about 3 steps deeper than they normally would to try to cut down on the extra base hit. I would think Hoffman would challenge Wallach up in the strike zone with fastballs.
Notoriously a good low ball hitter. That drops low for ball 1.
He's even more of a low ball hitter now because being 39 years old, his hands are slower. Takes quicker hands to hit the high fastball.
12 home runs on the year for Wallach, 4 with the Dodgers. Way out in front, strike 1.
That was a splitter, it looked like. Tim Wallach, probably the most surprised guy in the ballpark.
And now a 1-ball, 1-strike count with 1 on, 1 out. Padres lead by 2, 9th inning. Strike 2. And those who made the trip up from San Diego enjoying every minute from the 6th inning on. 2 runs for the Padres to tie it. 2 in the 8th on a hit by Gwynn to take the lead. 1-2 to Wallach, 2 out. A leadoff double, then back-to-back strikeouts. And the Padres 1 out away from a chance to win the division here tomorrow.
Breaking ball down, gets Wallach. And Bill Russell going to his hot hand on the bench. Billy Ashley will be the pinch hitter for Delino DeShields.
The Dodgers now batting for DeShields.
5 pinch hit home runs on the year.
21, Billy Ashley.
Ashley will pinch hit. The last chance for the Dodgers here in the 9th inning. Here are his thoughts on his duties off the bench for Bill Russell.
Realizing the fact that I've got one shot up there to do whatever's called upon to do, whatever I can do out there. And usually it's a big hit situation, maybe to drive in some runs, from second base, or, a home run situation where, well, that's even more pressure thrown on you when you go up there.
He leads the major leagues with 5 pinch hit home runs. That also ties a Los Angeles Dodger mark set by Lee Lacy in 1978. A leadoff double by Karras, and he hasn't moved. Mondesi struck out. Wallach struck out. Ball 1 to Billy Ashley. Hitting only 200 for the year. 22 hits, 9 home runs. Two and 0. Runner at second, 2 out, 2-0 to Ashby. 3-0. I don't think I've seen a fastball yet.
Nope.
You put Ashby on, you put the tying run on. Gagne on deck. He walked him. And it looked like he pitched around him.
Well, I think what he wanted to do, Joe, was hit for a strike on the first, second, or third breaking ball. Gagne will be called back. I don't know whether Bill Russell will pinch hit for Gagne. Chad Fonville will be the pinch runner.
He'll be the pinch runner, and Dave Hansen will be the pinch hitter for Gagne.
Number 5, Dave
Ashby
Hansen
does his job. He reaches base. And now with the tying runs on and 2 out, the Dodgers call on another pinch hitter, Dave Hansen.
Now running at first base for Ashby. Number 3.
Now here comes Dan Warthen, the Padre pitching coach, out to talk to Kevin Hoffman. Nobody warming for the Padres. Trevor Hoffman is their stopper. And the only reason that Bruce Bochy would get anybody up would be if the Dodgers tied it here and have a pitcher come in and pitch the bottom of the 10th inning.
Dave Hansen, the last chance for the Dodgers today. 2 out, 2 on, down by 2. Hansen is a pinch hitter. 5 for his last 13 with 2 RBIs. 2 on, 2 out. Strike 1. Hoffman looking for his 41st save of the year. Missed the corner, 1 ball, 1 strike. A leadoff double by Karras. Mondesi and Wallach struck out, then a walk to Ashby. Hansen way out in front. Now in the hole, 1 and 2. And the Dodgers down to their last strike. Gagne lifted for the pinch hitter.
And Hansen has seen all 3 of Trevor Hoffman's offerings. Curveball for a strike, fastball off the plate away, changeup. Probably go back to his fastball away right here.
Hansen strikes out and the game is over. The Padres win it 4-2 and tomorrow have a chance to win the NL West. Tim Worrell gets the win again in relief. Dreifert takes the loss. The save for Hoffman is 41st of the year. Our Chevrolet most valuable player of the game has got to be Tony Gwynn.
I'll tell you, Joe, I have never seen a group of guys who have clinched a postseason appearance as disappointed as the Dodgers are right now.
Tony Gwynn, our genuine Chevrolet player of the game. The Dodgers have not been swept at home this year. They hope they don't pick the final weekend of the regular season to have that happen. If it does, the Padres would win the National League's Western Division. They're all tied up. Each team a record of 90 and 71 with 1 to go tomorrow. And at this point, you would have to say the starting pitcher's still up in the air. Could be Hamilton. It could be Tewksbury for San Diego. It could be Ramon Martinez for the Dodgers. It could be Park. Who knows?
Bruce Bochy told us that Tewksbury would be the starter and that Joey Hamilton would be saved for the first game of the playoffs. We do not know what Bill Russell's going to do. But by going in tied tomorrow, it's the first time in 88 years in the National League that two teams have been tied on the last day of the season.
Each team with a record of 90 and 71. It's been a lot of fun today in Los Angeles. More fun for the Padres than the Dodgers with their 4-2 win. They're tied at the top of the National League West with 1 to go. Padres win it 4-2 here in L.A. in a